So, hello, Mr. Nitin Vas. So, thank you so much for accepting this invite and giving this opportunity for talking to you. Your work has been quite inspirational to many of us on how you're bringing rural products to the urban areas and how you're actually mixing the entrepreneurship with a social cause of it, and by which you are trying to help the people in the rural areas to get incomes. So, an extremely good thought of it. So, I would like to understand probably as to what inspired you or what was that journey that you went through that you took up this social entrepreneurship.
In order to understand the PaperSeed social initiative, I need to get back into my studies when I begin my studies with art as my background, where I learned visual arts. That was one of the major fundamentals of where our journey begins. Then I did my health, safety, and environment, where I learned the environmental aspects. Then I was in another country teaching the Americans or the Brits or the Australians. So that was a global connectivity for me to get in touch with people and talk to them about different ideas. And I was in the last time I was in Dubai. I saw a desert with so beautiful garden, and then I realized my country being blessed with good soil, good rain, monsoons, but we don't have that same thing. And as Mahatma Gandhi rightly said, the real India is not in the cities. The real India lives in the villages. So, and that's where I started my journey back into my hometown where I come from, 24 kilometers away from Bangalore. And that's what I wanted to do, something for my country, do something for my rural villages. And I quit everything that I was doing. For I was into teaching, I quit it. I came back to India, and that's where we started with the social entrepreneurship.
You would have reached that phase when you wanted to, whether should I resign, should I give up all these things, all these luxuries, and then go back to my country and do this job. So probably you would have also been in that dilemma of when you had to take that decision, right? So just probably many of us, I think, have this dilemma also, that when we reach a particular stage, there are two directions, one which you would want to take and the other one which probably, what was that decision making process that led you to take this route?
That's a very valid question, because that is the most important decision that we take in our personal life. Now, let's say about whether you want to be working on an 9 to 5 corporate job, or whether you want to be independent. But again, when you are working for a corporate sector, the thing is very easy. You're going to get paid at the end of the month. But you are going to be a mechanism, a machine, which you're going to do a repetitive job. And now, if you are looking for freedom, you take the risk. Now that is the challenge what each individual would take. My journey was not that easy. Then it was very difficult for me to convince my own people about what would I convince them? I want to go back to my village, leaving my job. I was doing pretty well, and and tell them that I want to do social service. And that's not an easy job. Your family, your immediate relatives, the convincing them was a thing. But anyways, the best part of me was that I was exposed in different places. My journey started from Mysore and then Bangalore. I traveled all across India when I was studying. I mean, I got an exposure there, and that was my roots were very good, where I got exposed to people, where I was exposed to different type of skills and things. So when I was working back in Dubai, the thing was that I was really doing well in my professional job, but always when I used to come back from my office, I was just a slave again back there. So always that was in my mind that, okay, I need to live my life, and this is not the way I'm going to live. So that's where we thought, why not we start a journey where, yes, it is difficult, when you are financially imbalanced during your risk taking period. But for me, it is like I see happiness in serving people. I see happiness in I see happiness when we all laugh together. I see happiness when we all share things together. That is what happiness was. So each one has a definition for happiness. Some people, wealth is happiness, and for somebody, service is happiness. That was the best thing. It was not that easy, but always the best part of me, what I was being trained was that always take the before you take any decision, make sure that you work on it properly. You study about it, whether the initiative that you are going to do is worth taking the risk, or what is the short-term goal that you're going to have, or a long-term goal that you're going to have. And once you come through it, once you decide that, okay, this is all about, then do not turn back and worry about whether it was right or whether it was wrong. Just keep going and you will succeed.
I think that's a very, very important point, that doing that homework before you take the plunge. Think about the short term, the long term, the mid-term goals. I think very, very well said. What is that other suggestions or advice that you would give to them? Say, for example, if there are another few Nitins who might have to come across in the path of social entrepreneurship. I mean, there's a lot of startups and entrepreneurs, yes, but mixing these two, the social issues of it and the entrepreneurship part of it, the social entrepreneurship of it, if someone would want to pursue this, what is that advice and what is that suggestion that you would give to them?
As you rightly mentioned, now let me make this clear to the viewers about the entrepreneurship and the social entrepreneurship. Now, everyone needs survival. That's the most important thing. Now, when we talk about entrepreneurship, the end goal is profit making, money making, which is the which lives as the core criteria. But when we are talking about social entrepreneurship, we are doing business again here, but we have a social cause. Now, PaperSeed has a social cause towards environment and creating job opportunities towards rural women and youth. That is what our social initiative is. So how can we fulfill this social initiative when we are doing business? That is, when you are doing entrepreneurship. The thing is that, for example, each of a product that has been done at PaperSeed is been done by the rural women. We train them. They are beautiful people. They have so much of potential. The thing is, they're untapped. So our job gets done. They get paid. They do a living. And the next thing is that each of the product at PaperSeed, we do not use any plastic in the making. We do not cut any natural resources. Whatever we do is either recycled or upcycled. And then once you use it, you put it in the soil that decomposes. So, I mean, we need to keep social responsibilities. Now, I need to give a small example about, let's say, there are so many companies, corporate sectors, which manufacture so many things. Now, let's take about a small shampoo sachet that is available in the market. What happens is that you use that sachet for ₹1, and what happens with that? That goes to the landfill. Millions of packets have been manufactured every day, but does the company take the responsibility of recycling it, or take the responsibility of the environmental concern? No. See, profit making itself is not everything. You want to build a greater nation, a beautiful nation, you need to take a social responsibility. With your profits, you also need to think about the society, you need to think about the environment. What I would like to tell the viewers about how you can come across. When I was working back into teaching, I had a group of masons when I was talking to them. And these were all 30, 40 years old experienced people. I asked them, sir, can you advise me one thing that, if I'm running a business, what would be success? So he told me, son, the only secret is I can share with you is patience. And yes, doing a green business is all about patience. You need, because each product is handmade, patience is the key for everything. And believe in yourself that you can do it. Until and unless you believe that you can do it, that is the first step that you need to have. And then do not assume or expect results overnight. It takes time. It's a process. It's a cycle where it takes time. But the result at the end is beautiful.
So one thing probably I would also want to ask is about social entrepreneurship. When you said that profit making versus entrepreneurship and social entrepreneurship, where is that line that you draw in terms of your revenues or your profits?
Yeah, now let me give you an example of the incense sticks that we do, the agarbattis that we do. Now we recycle the waste temple flowers and make incense sticks out of it. Now the easiest way to pack this incense sticks is by using a plastic pouch, which is just, let's say, 10 paisas or 50 paisas.
Yes.
Yeah. And you pack it in an airtight pouch. The shell life is going to be more than a year, because it's not going to be exposed to air. But what happens is, now even we can go for that same alternative of a 10 paisa alternative, but we here compromise with our profits here. Now let me tell you how. If you see the packaging of the incense stick that we don't use plastic. So the next immediate alternative is using a butter sheet, which is degradable. Now you need to spend another penny on it. And the packaging that we do is everything made from a recycled waste cardboards or newspapers, and each boxes are handmade by the rural women. Now it would cost me around 2 to 3 rupees, let's say, in case of a packaging. A plastic pouch would just be of 10 paisa for me. So I make a larger profit when I go to non-degradable materials like plastic. Now though we take this responsibility towards the environment, we make sure that anything that we produce is absolute degradable, and that's where you need to compromise with the profits that you have. And there lies a big difference. Now in case I to start manufacturing in the plastic, think about the waste that we are going to generate, and where again it is going to go. Now the next thing is, again, the government is going to spend another chunk of money for Swachh Bharat to clean the waste that we generate. So, if you see at the grassroots level, trying to, commit towards the environment, commit towards the humanity is the only ultimate solution. Though, in case you want to become rich overnight, and then social entrepreneurship is not a cup of tea for you. But if you think about together we can, and then yes, social entrepreneurship is the next alternative.
That's right. How many people are probably working under the PaperSeed?
Yeah. Actually, what we do is that we first try to understand the problem that is happening in this market. Now, let's say, making paper, cutting down trees. What is an alternative? They use pencils made from trees. What is an alternative? We come with newspaper pencils. Now, pens made from plastic. What is an alternative? So we try to analyze the problems in the market that is happening. Now, let's say we had Raksha Bandhan last time. So we were the company who designed an degradable, plantable Raksha Bandhan that grows into a plant. Then comes Christmas. There is a large amount of plastic that comes to India from a different country. So we thought, why not we go for paper mache Christmas decoratives? So provide alternatives to all the problems was what we started off with. Now, as I earlier told you, that we don't use large machines so that it doesn't steal jobs of the rural women and youth. So everything that is done in the rural villages. Now we had 32 families before our first lockdown that was hit. Then we had so much of excess produced. The only challenge that we had was that because we use seeds in our products, it has a shell life. So before the first lockdown, we had manufactured a large amount of plantable papers. But unfortunately, we had a lockdown, and then those papers were supposed to be disposed. And because it has seeds, so it has a shell life. So we were not able to sustain with this, a large number of people working for us. We had to cut down our production because we already had an excess and which was not movable. And somehow we were trying to recover by getting into toys and things like that. The second pandemic hit us really hard.
I
So
see
right
some
now
of
we are
those
just left.
toys on the behind. Are these ones made by them?
Yeah, those are all made from recycled paper and
Wow.
the waste cardboard. So we have the Chanpatna toys back in Chanpatna. So we thought that we will launch something like the Mangalore toys. These are all the toys made from recycled paper
Wow.
and hand painted, crafted. Yeah. So this is our logo. What we have with this, all these animals and a couple of traditional things that we are doing. So this was the second step. We thought now we are waiting for the tourism industry to recover. So if that
Fantastic.
happens, then possibly, yeah, we have a couple of our products sent whole across the world. Actually, we have US. We have been sending it to the Germany. We have sent it to England. So we've been sending it across. But the thing is that it needs a large manpower because these are handmade. It's not a machinery made where you can produce it in mass.
And extremely skilled. They need to be in that
Yeah.
precision, especially the toys that you showed. They have to be extremely skilled and talented to What such wonderful.
The thing was, when there is demand, there is more employment that can be generated. So
Absolutely.
in that perspective, we are starting off with a project called as a PaperSeed Village. That project, once that is completed, it would be a never-ending job creating project, because we are going to design it in such a way that in case we have the worst of worst challenges also, PaperSeed would be able to provide you alternatives, try to maintain and sustain the job creation. Now, for example, in last lockdown, that's the second lockdown, we had designed the seed plantable masks that made large sound all across the country, and not just country, but from different countries also. So we were not supplied with raw materials. If at all we had, I could have been still giving employment for more than 50 women. So sometimes it is because we didn't have proper infrastructure, but now we are slowly by slowly developing it. We're building it. We want to build a village that is, so sustainable that in worst to worst situation, we will be able to help the at least the local communities here.
I mean, I'm really very inspired by the work that you're doing, bringing all different thought processes of social cause, entrepreneurship, and sustainability in the core of it. So really great. And how does really someone, if they're interested with these toys or in the mask, how does one really reach out to you?
Yeah, we are under the development of our website, which was live before the lockdown, but we are turning it a little into the e-commerce so that people can directly buy it from us. Not just our products, but we also want to market indigenous products from the rural artisans so that they get a direct market. And right now, in case you want to buy, people can message us through WhatsApp or through Facebook or Instagram, and then that's where we are connecting back to the people, talking to them about the requirement, and then we do the door delivery from whichever part of the country they want to buy from.
Okay, you're open pan India.
Yeah.
That's fantastic. That's fantastic, Mr. Nitin. Really, thank you so much for your time. Really inspiring with your work, what you're doing. And we're really hoping that you go to much greater heights. And of course, with that, you uplift the people along with you in the rural villages. And such wonderful work. And really, thank you for all of your time. And thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.